Welcome to The Explainer. Have you ever wished that learning incredibly complex technical skills felt a lot less like sitting in a dusty, dimly lit classroom and more like binge-watching a thrilling, high-budgeted animated series? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're unpacking a fascinating master design document that aims to completely transform dry cybersecurity education into a visually stunning Netflix-quality animated explainer series. It's a wildly ambitious project targeted at college students, working professionals, and bug bounty beginners, and it promises to teach real, practical, ethical hacking in a way you have absolutely never seen before. Here is a quick look at our roadmap for today. We'll be exploring the ultimate hacking masterclass, a cinematic cyberpunk world, the cast of characters, anatomy of an episode, the novice to advanced curriculum, and finally, strict legal and ethical boundaries. Let's get right to it. Okay, let's dive into Section 1, the Ultimate Hacking Masterclass. You know how traditional cybersecurity is usually taught, right? Endless, boring PowerPoint slides, massive walls of text, and a totally monotone delivery? Well, this blueprint completely outlaws that approach. Instead, the goal is a Netflix-quality animated series, where learning feels just like watching a premium web show. But make no mistake, this isn't just about flashy visuals. Every single topic has to be demonstrated practically, hands-on right inside the Kali Linux operating system. It's all about merging that top-tier cinematic storytelling with hardcore, practical, technical skills. And you have to see the scale of this undertaking. We aren't just talking about a handful of quick tutorials here. The blueprint maps out a staggering 200 episodes. Each one of these is carefully designed to be between 15 and 25 minutes long, which is really the sweet spot for retaining all this complex technical information. But here's the brilliant part. The document dictates that these episodes must connect logically like a premium TV series, complete with cliffhangers at the end of each installment. The idea is that you're so hooked you essentially end up binge learning ethical hacking. Moving right along to Section 2, a cinematic cyberpunk world. The visual direction mandated here is incredibly specific and highly stylized. The creator is calling for a unique blend of three very distinct styles. Imagine the flawless, high-end 3D polish of Pixar, mixed with that vibrant comic book and motion feel of the Spider-Verse films, and then wrapping the whole thing up in a gritty, high-tech cyberpunk aesthetic. The goal is 3D cinematic animation that immediately immerses you. I mean, this is literally a world away from a static whiteboard. To actually pull off that immersive feel, the blueprint outlines a strict checklist of required visual elements. Picture this. You're in environments totally drenched in neon lights, set inside this awesome futuristic hacking lab. Instead of just staring at a basic screen recording, you're seeing concepts explained through floating holograms, complex head-up display effects, and beautifully animated code flowing right across the screen. Throw in digital maps tracking cyber attacks, movie-level camera movements, and seamless scene transitions, and you've got a learning environment that absolutely locks in your attention. Which brings us to Section 3, the cast of characters. Look, technical concepts can be dry, right? So to humanize all of this, the course relies on a distinct cast of characters. You aren't just listening to some disembodied voice, you're hanging out with a crew. The document specifies a core cast. We've got a funny hacker mentor leading the charge, an assistant character to help break down concepts, and a villain hacker to represent the real-world threats you're learning to defend against. Add in an AI robot and a dedicated comic character to keep things light, and you have a really dynamic group. And it's strictly noted that every single character must have a unique voice, distinct expressions, and a totally memorable personality. And this brilliantly illustrates the personality of our main character, the hacker mentor. Forget your typical stern professor. The blueprint describes this brilliant, sarcastic, coffee-guzzling mentor whose primary job is to make hacking exciting. By explaining difficult concepts using well-timed jokes, frequently breaking the fourth wall, and talking directly to you, the viewer, this character turns a passive lecture into a really active, engaging conversation. It's a fantastic technique for keeping us all hooked during those deeply technical explanations. Now, what's really interesting is Section 4, Anatomy of an Episode. The source document actually demands a massive 23-point formula for every single episode, but we've distilled it down to 4 critical macro steps. First up, every episode must begin with a killer story hook in the first 20 seconds. Next, the narrative transitions into a practical lab setup. Then comes the absolute core of the episode, the step-by-step, hands-on demo mixed with real-world examples. Take Episode 7, for instance, which focuses heavily on vulnerability analysis. During the demo, the mentor character actually walks you through using tools like ExploitDB and SearchSploit, showing exactly how to discover and weaponize the notorious VSFTB 2.3.4 backdoor. Finally, the episode wraps up with a cliffhanger, a homework challenge, and a preview of the next episode. It's just a perfect, repeatable engine balancing top-tier entertainment with rigorous hard skills. Next up is Section 5, Novice to Advanced Curriculum. This curriculum does not mess around. It's designed to take you from an absolute beginner who knows nothing about cybersecurity all the way to an advanced professional ready for the industry. Term 1 kicks off with absolute fundamentals: installing virtual machines, understanding Linux commands, the OSI model, and TCP IP networking, but it ramps up fast. By Term 2, you're deep into web app security, OWASP Top 10, and Metasploit. Then, Terms 3 and 4 push you into serious advanced territory, like privilege escalation, Python automation, cloud security across AWS and Azure, and even complex fields like digital forensics, reverse engineering, and malware analysis. It is a remarkably comprehensive roadmap. And throughout this entire journey, you aren't just memorizing theory, you are mastering essential, real-world tools. You'll learn how to spin up environments with VirtualBox and VMware, live mostly inside Kali Linux, and master industry-standard software. We're talking Nmap and Wireshark for network recon, Burp Suite for web app testing, plus powerful frameworks like Metasploit, SQL Map, and Hydra for exploitation and password cracking. Everything is applied and everything is practical. Finally, we arrive at Section 6, Strict Legal and Ethical Boundaries. So the crucial point here, and this is an absolute non-negotiable rule in the document, is ethics and legal authorization. Every single attack demonstrated across those 200 episodes has to take place inside a legal virtual lab. What does that mean? It means a safe, fully authorized, and completely isolated digital environment. The blueprint explicitly forbids ever targeting real websites or unauthorized networks. The entire premise of this ethical hacking masterclass completely hinges on having this safe, isolated practice space. To make sure everything stays above board, the document mandates the use of specific, approved platforms. If characters are hacking web vulnerabilities, they're using intentionally flawed applications like DBWA and OWASP Juice Shop. For system-level exploits, Metasploitable is the go-to target. And for guided learning and practice, the curriculum heavily integrates platforms you might actually know, like HackTheBox, TryHackMe, VulnHub, and WebGoat. Using these exact environments ensures that you're learning highly offensive skills, but doing it in a completely secure, legally compliant manner. By combining a wildly ambitious 200-episode curriculum with a jaw-dropping cyberpunk aesthetic and a genuinely fun cast of characters, this blueprint totally redefines what technical education can look like. It proves that learning complex cybersecurity skills doesn't have to be a chore. It can actually be an absolute thrill ride. So, looking at this incredibly detailed roadmap for the ultimate cinematic hacking masterclass. Are you ready to enter the lab? Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next explainer.